tragedies in strong determination with sense of unity and solidarity. Come what may, there'll be one fine day, the day we renew our homeland with blessing from the sky. Our dreamland will shine.
With raindrops falling from the sky, with morning sun so brightly shine, with rainbow bridge curving far above cloud, together we could wish upon the stars. With inheritance, heart of gold, with good deeds leading our way, responding to duties in strong determination, with sense of unity and solidarity. Come what may, there'll be one fine day, the day we renew our homeland with blessing from the sky. Our dreamland will shine. Come what may, there'll be one fine day, the day we renew our homeland. Come what may, there'll be one fine day, the day we renew our homeland. Come what may, there'll be one fine day, the day we renew our homeland. With blessing from the sky, our dreamland will shine. Our dreamland will
The time is now 8 a.m. in the Kingdom of Thailand.
On radio, online, and on your mobile. This is Radio Thailand FM 88.
This is Radio Thailand News. Brought to you by Subaru Forester, the extraordinary SUV. Book your test drive at home now at Subaru.Asia.
The Singaporean Ministry of Transport or MOT has said that Singapore is monitoring the COVID-19 situation closely as community cases in the city-states spike ahead of the launch of a travel bubble with Hong Kong. More on the story after these messages.
เมื่อความจำเป็นนำเราสู่ชีวิตที่เปลี่ยนไปเพียงแค่เสี้ยววินาทีที่คิดว่าปลอดภัยชีวิตอาจไม่เหมือนเดิมเปลี่ยนในทุกจังหวะชีวิตให้พร้อมรับมือทุกความเปลี่ยนแปลงไม่ว่าอะไรจะเปลี่ยน Subaru จะอยู่ข้างคุณด้วยนวัตกรรมความปลอดภัยมากกว่า100รายการที่ Subaru คอยใส่ใจไม่เคยเปลี่ยนเพื่อความสุขในทุกเส้นทางของคุณค้นพบความสุขเติมเต็มทุกความปลอดภัยได้ที่โชว์รูม Subaru ทั่วประเทศ
ไม่มีวิกฤตไหนที่คนไทยเอาชนะไม่ได้เพราะคนไทยสร้างสรรค์คนไทยช่วยเหลือกันและไม่ว่าจะเกิดอะไรเราก็ยังยิ้มสู้เพราะความใจสู้ของคนไทยเป็นกำลังใจให้กลุ่มปตท.มุ่งมั่นคิดเพื่ออนาคตและทำสิ่งที่ดีที่สุดเพื่อคนไทยปตท.สานพลังใจ We Fight Together
วัคซีนโควิด -19 จะช่วยสร้างภูมิต้านทานให้กับประชาชนหากติดเชื้อจะลดความรุนแรงของการป่วยและการเสียชีวิตรัฐบาลได้จัดหาวัคซีนให้กับทุกคนฟรีโดยเป็นการฉีดด้วยความสมัครใจและจะทยอยฉีดให้ตามลำดับความเสี่ยงวัคซีนเพื่อสังคมไทยสู้โควิด
สนใจลงโฆษณาใน Radio Thailand FM 88 โทร 02-439-6599
First up, international segments. The Food and Drug Administration or FDA has approved COVID-19 vaccines from 3 manufacturers, with one more under consideration and 2 others working to submit their documents. The agency meanwhile noted that contrary to some reports, there have been no imports of the Pfizer vaccine into the kingdom. FDA Secretary General Dr. Paisan Dankum said the import of any vaccine requires prior approval and they must first be registered with the FDA. Currently, the 3 approved COVID-19 vaccines are from AstraZeneca, Sinovac, and Johnson & Johnson. The FDA is currently looking to register the Moderna vaccine submitted by Zuellig Pharma. The administration also received documents for the Covaxin vaccine by BioNTech and Sputnik V by KinGen Biotech. However, Pfizer has yet to submit documents to register its vaccine with the FDA. On the international fronts, the Singaporean Ministry of Transport or MOT has said that Singapore is monitoring the COVID-19 situation closely as community cases in the city-states spike ahead of the launch of a travel bubble with Hong Kong. A ministry spokesperson said the vast majority of the community cases in Singapore are linked, prompting officials to set the target launch dates of the air travel bubble a month after the announcements. Responding to a reporter's question about the travel bubble during the COVID-19 multi-ministry task force press conference, Education Minister Lawrence Wong said Singapore and Hong Kong remain in touch. When the travel bubble was announced for the second time on April 26th, it was set to launch on May 26th. This came after a previous launch in November of 2020 was delayed following a spike in cases in Hong Kong. However, there has now been a jump in local cases in Singapore, which prompted authorities to tighten COVID-19 management measures from May 8th to May 30th. And catch Radio Thailand's early news for more updates around the clock at FM 88 and also online at nbt.prd.go.th. I'm กระจ่างวิทย์เจาะจิต สวัสดีครับ
Brought to you by Subaru Forester, the extraordinary SUV. Book your test drive at home now at Subaru.Asia.
This is Radio Thailand News.
MFA updates.
Good morning สวัสดีครับ Welcome to the MFA update, a weekly program broadcast every Friday from 8 to 8:30 a.m. on Radio Thailand. We bring you foreign affairs news and activities that matter with our special guests from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Kingdom of Thailand. I am Vanachai Jittiwong. Today, we will be focusing on Thailand's public diplomacy with Mr. Thฤต Jarungwat, Secretary General of Thailand Foundation. All right, now, can you describe what is Thailand's public diplomacy is all about, and what are the support from your organization, Thailand Foundation, to pursue such mission?
Well, thank you, Kun Vanachai, for having me. You talk about public diplomacy. This is a term which is not generally known by far in Thailand. We do this in many academic circles and within the diplomatic circle. The meaning of public diplomacy, public is about people. Diplomacy is about connecting, making good relations between two sides or more sides. So to put it together, public diplomacy is to connect people. The target is to the people in order to have people as a base for a good relationship. Now, in this sense, if I may, public diplomacy is working in complementarily with the traditional diplomacy. Traditional diplomacy is about connecting one country to another country at the top level, at the government to government,
right,
government to parliament, and government to, let's say, formal agencies, so to speak. But public diplomacy is about doing diplomacy targeting people of other country, which, if I may cite some example, some country put their energy, their endeavor to make people of other country to like or to love their country, which means if you have a people in other country as your supporter, then people, if they like your country, they will like your products,
right,
they will welcome your people. They will even, campaign to support the country that they like, which will be heard by their local government, for example. So public diplomacy is a very important instrument in this time of the world because public or the people become more and more independent and they consume their own information. They have their own view of subject or issue around the world. They have the decision. This come together with the opening, source of information, the freedom of consuming news, and so on and so forth. So people have their own idea, and therefore every country is doing this kind of public diplomacy in order to attract people of other nations. Then what about the Thailand Foundation? What Thailand Foundation is doing? Thailand Foundation is in a sense an arm of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Thailand to do or to conduct public diplomacy.
All right, just make the people in other countries more connected to our assets and attractions is very crucial task that has been proven by the establishment of the Thailand Foundation, who are playing a significant role, right, in the enhancing Thailand's public diplomacy, as you mentioned. So, what are the foundation's key strategies and tools to achieve such ambitious goals?
Let me put it this way. The vision of Thailand Foundation is very simple. Reaching out and create synergies is our mission. We want to reach out to the world. We want to have our Thai people to reach out to the people of the world. And we believe that with that relationship, they can create synergy for the benefit of both sides. We want to encourage our people to know more of others, and at the same time, we want other, I mean, people from other countries to know more about Thailand. And in other words, we want each other to know more about each other. As I mentioned, if they can connect to each other, we believe that this is a very important fundamental to create a good thing among them. And thus, in turn, will be a good basis for the good relationship between the two countries. And that is generally the vision of Thailand Foundation. Then what do we do? The mission of Thailand Foundation is to conduct public diplomacy to extend a goodwill and friendship to people around the world, as well as to explore area of cooperation on the basis of mutual interest. And secondly, to promote better understanding about Thailand and Thai people through Thai studies and exchange programs, through Thai culture and heritage, as well as Thai values and characteristics of Thainess. I think we need to find our attractions. What are our attractions? So that we can showcase ourselves to the world to attract people. You may have heard about the word soft power.
Soft power. Okay.
Soft power is, in fact, one of the instruments of our public diplomacy. Soft power is different from one other to another country. In the case of some country, if I may cite some example, Korea has their own soft power, which is very obvious. They have their media, they have their
K-pop or something.
Pop youngster, they have their series that is very
attractive to other countries
worldwide. Japan have their soft power. This is some kind that attract people of other countries to look into what else that they have to offer. In the case of Thailand, we can put it in many layers. Thailand has a number of attraction of soft power. You know, we have our tourism, we have the season sand feature, we have our Thai food, we have our Muay Thai, very, very well known throughout the globe. But some may not know that with the research of myself as ambassador of Thailand to many countries and together with my colleagues, we found out that our soft power is the characteristic or the property of Thai people itself. What are those properties? This is a manifestation. This is Thai people. The strong point of Thai people is respect, compassion, and openness. Respect, which is sought after in many places, in many organizations, in many campaigns around the world. We like people to respect others without looking into the difference. In Thailand, whoever visit us or whoever Thailand or Thai people engage with, we don't look into those differences. We don't care of who you are, where are you from, which nationality are you. We are friendly.
Right.
So this is a sense of respect that we offer to our friends around the world. And I think this is what the world is looking for these days. And secondly, compassion. Compassion is a very strong word. Some countries mention that Thailand has a very strong compassion values. Compassion means we are kind to people, and not only people, even animals. We look at situation around the world, poverty, sickness, or whatever through the lens of our sense of kindness, and we want to offer our assistance, or we want to hand out our help to the world always. And lastly, openness. I think this is very obvious that in Thailand we embrace every element from around the world: culture, religion, food, people wherever they are from. And this is why we used to entertain 40 million visitors around the world. So these three strong words of respect, compassion, and openness are the property that also the strong soft power that we are regard by our friends around the world. The Thailand Foundation wants to highlight or remind the world of this kind of thing. In order to attract people, we want to project this to the world. We want to showcase the element that bring about Thainess. These are the thing that Thailand Foundation would like to highlight. And we have the exchange program in order to exchange student, volunteer. We have scholarship and fellowship to offer to friends from our neighboring countries or far away. We have cultural troops to exchange with troops from around the world, so that people will know more deeply of us. As I mentioned earlier, that interaction of people open opportunity for them to exercise activities with each other.
Big job to promote attractiveness, respect, compassion, and openness to make known internationally those kind of elements. So how challenging do you think it could be?
This is very challenging, but at the same time, we have a good foundation to work on, because when I mentioned about the soft power that we have as elaborated earlier, it's not overnight. It has been there, and it has been accumulating for decades or century, if you like. We work on those kind of strong points. What we try to do is to amplify those strong points, putting together information and communicate those information to the world on the website. The website will showcase or will remind the world that Thailand is full of culture, tradition, heritage. Those will be elaborated in English, put things comprehensively in those elements like artistic and craftsmanship, music, drama, arts, tradition, festival, literature, local wisdom, Thai food, Muay Thai. Those all sort of things will be put together there and will be added on over time through our website. The other two elements, very shortly, is the spiritual values and meditation. This is a new element. We are trying to put easy-to-read material on Buddhism and meditation onto these columns as well. And I think this is become more and more popular in the world. And we are offering ourselves as a place for people who want to understand or even practice. Beginner who wants to practice, they can come to this website and we will guide them through. Last but not least, and this is what we are very proud of, we will have a Thai language learning course online. We try to teach Thai language through different language of the world. We believe that in the near future we will have Thai language teaching by Russian, by Arab, by our friend Indian, or by Chinese, or by Japanese. And this kind of thing will be offered on our website. Sometime in July we can launch or reopen our website.
right, it is definitely exciting development of the Thailand's move becoming the country that greatly attractive to foreign countries is such a powerful and long-term attempt in the hope for the long-term benefits, which is very, very significant for Thailand as a world citizens. Thank you for sharing us such an comprehensive stories of the public diplomacy in Thailand. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Kun Vanachai, for having me.
Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.
The Foreign Affairs That Matter. Special guests from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. This is the MFA Updates.
And that's it for our program this week. Thanks for listening to this edition of MFA Update. We will be back next week with insights about foreign affairs that catch your interest. Remember, you can always find us on Facebook, FM 88 Radio Thailand English. Bye for today. Have a great weekend. สวัสดีครับ
MFA Updates.
Bangkok's one and only all English news and music station, Radio Thailand FM 88.